Good evening, good evening. I am Vesper Noir, the resident scholar of HOLOSTARS English, Guild Tempest.
I am Axel Sirius, the gladiator of Guild Tempest. Probably the dumbest but the smartest at the same time. So nice to meet you guys all. We've got like the, Pops and Sun kind of vibe
right?
in the guild, I'd say.
That doesn't mean we don't get along. I feel like we get along.
Oh yeah, we get along pretty well.
Maybe the best? I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just don't understand the way that you think. A lot of times you'll make a decision or you'll talk about something and I'll be like, how did he come to that conclusion?
Oh. Let's just say if you were going through an airport, you would go through 3 security checks. I would just barge myself through. So I think that's the difference,
And then like airport security would tackle you to the ground and be like, no. You have to go through
But then in the end, they'll be
detector.
like, well, yeah. And then in the end, they'll be like, oh, this guy actually had nothing. He just,
he just doesn't notice.
yeah.
Okay, we're gonna jump right in. First question, you're given $1,000 and you can spend it on anything. What would you buy with it?
Okay, $1,000. Well, right now, I actually don't have anything that I want to buy. I'll probably like shout the boys like food. Like, I really like going out, eating dinner and stuff with my mates. Like, so yeah, maybe shouting the boys food or, it's either that and saving the rest or, maybe doing a cheeky bet.
Cheeky bet.
Yeah, maybe doing a cheeky bet.
Okay. I like that.
Maybe a cheeky multi bet, maybe.
One thing that the people that are fans of Tempest might not know is that you might not expect this, right, guys? But the people that save the most money are actually Axel and then myself. Isn't that weird?
Do you know why the reason to that is?
I actually don't know.
Because there's nothing I want to buy. I'm not the type of person who buys one thing and it's like, oh, I want this too. I buy something and I'm like, I'm really chill with this. I'll just stick to this.
That's actually
the
really
only
surprising.
reason why I have so much money.
Now my headcanon is that like all 3 of your outfits are just that. We can't tell when you've changed your outfit, so it just looks like you're wearing the same clothes every day without washing them, but it's just the exact same outfit copied 3 times.
That is true. I mean, when we're streaming, I have to put this clothes on, I can't like half the time I'm like shirtless, dude. Dude, Northern Elysium is so hot. Like right now it's not that hot, but usually it's like 30 degrees kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm usually just shirtless all the time.
Anyways, I feel like we should move on because it's getting a bit yumma.
Yeah, maybe.
I apologize. Okay, let's start question number 2. So you're fluent in both Japanese and English. My question is, when you're thinking in your head, what language do you think in? And
you don't
why
think?
is that?
Huh? Do you guys think when you guys talk? I just let the words flow out of my mouth.
No, but like you must like think about things. Like when you're alone and you're playing a video game and you're trying to make a decision, you think, right? You're like, oh, okay, what should I do here?
It might be dependent on the game. So if I'm like, if I'm playing with Japanese friends, then maybe in Japanese. If I'm playing with English friends, maybe in English. But then at the same time, when I'm playing with my Japanese friends, if I ever do play games, like for example, Apex, and I'm playing, and I get aped, I still say what the fuck in English. So I don't know. Like I don't think. Like that's just me, I don't think.
Please, I'm trying to gas you up as an intelligent young man. Like, please,
I don't
please
think.
don't make my job harder. You definitely think, please. Like I know for a fact that you think.
Maybe I think, but I don't know about it. So maybe that's why I'm done, because I don't know what I'm thinking about.
Okay. So you've never really thought about what language you think in? Like it's not a language thing? Unless
it's like when you're running, you don't think like, all right, I gotta step out with my right foot, then left foot, right foot. You don't think about that.
Have
you just
no
do
idea.
it.
No, I've actually thought you are now running manually, and I've started to run badly. Like I start like tripping over my feet. I'm like in the middle of a jog, and it's like you are now running manually. And it's like, oh god, how do I move the feet? Like, am I gonna trip? And then I just start like, like
you are like an AI, my man.
I mean, I have noticed though that your speech pattern in English is very different from your speech pattern in Japanese. To my ear, you sound very polite and upstanding.
Oh,
you sound more like Altair to my ear, like when you're speaking in Japanese.
Well, I feel like that's just with the Japanese language in common. I feel like Japanese is a very polite language overall.
I would agree, yes.
So when you're talking, like, unless you are like really close with people, you won't use like really friendly terms. I feel like you would still use keigo to, well, there's a single keigo is like respect language in Japanese.
Yes, it's like business Japanese
kind
language.
of. And I feel like you would use it to a certain extent if it's like not your family member or really close friends. Like I would call my chat minna in Japanese, right? Which means everyone. But then maybe if I get used to it, I'll call them omaera, which means you guys, you know, like instead of calling.
Okay.
Yeah, so it technically means the same thing, but it just shows the distance that you have.
It's complicated, yeah. Like I know
Yeah, it is.
I know the distance that you have between the person that you're conversing with makes a huge difference. And if you trip over that, no matter which way you go, if you're too distant or if you're too close, it's seen as being like insulting.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's
It's
actually
so
really
difficult.
interesting and cool.
I fucking hate Kegel, dude. Like, I actually hate it. And it, how should I say, it prevents you from getting too friendly with other people.
Yes.
Because Northern Elysium, we are a very friendly, like, place, right?
Yeah.
Everyone here is so friendly. So, like, for example, I'll, like, just talk to, like, just say someone at, like, the waiter at the cafe or something. I'll be like, oh, thank you so much, this, that. And then I'll, you know, crap cup, like, a small conversation. And then they'll be like, dude, shut the fuck up and let me do my work and then fuck off, you know? And I'm just there like, really? I'm just trying to be, you know, I'm just trying to be kind of nice. Like,
all right, if anybody's ever rude to you like that, you let me know and I'll give them a stern talking to, you know? Yeah. I stand by the fact that you have a single like supercomputer tier CPU in your brain. It's just like a single CPU, so you can only do one thing at a time, but you do it basically instantly.
I don't know too much about computer parts, man, honestly. Yeah, I was like to my friend, the CPU is the computer, right? And they're like, no, what the f are you talking about? I was like,
you know, when you buy a CPU, it's like 8 core, 4 gigahertz or something like that, right? The gigahertz is the clock speed, and that's how quickly it can like cycle through computations and stuff like that, right? And then the core is how many of those there are. So it's like 8 4 gigahertz, like, you know, threads. Like they just do their own thing.
Yeah, it's too difficult,
you're
man.
like a single, like you don't have multiple cores, you just have one, but it's like 50 gigahertz or something like that when the average is like 4. Right? It's something
so
like that.
In general, you just buy an expensive CPU and you'll be all set, right? Like,
we just move on. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I just bought an expensive one and I was like, can I just get the good one?
Okay.
I literally went to the computer store and I was like, can I get a good CPU? I don't know what's good. And the guy's like, oh, I recommend you this way. I was like, whatever is good, man, just give it to me.
But anyways, we're gonna move on. Okay. Is there somebody that you really admire? Like, you don't have to name them actually if you want to keep it private, but the question is, what qualities about them do you admire? Is there like a common trait in the people that you admire?
Yes, definitely. People who works their fucking ass off. Okay, I'll name one person that I really look up to. Kobe Bryant, you know, the NBA player.
Oh, Kobe, yeah.
I always like basketball and I always liked his Mamba mentality.
Even games where they've clearly lost, and everybody on his team is just kind of like, well, there's no way we're going to catch up, right? He's still diving for the ball, right? Or he used to dive for the ball.
And it's not just about the games, it's about off games, what he does. He hits the gym at 5 a.m. and then leaves last and stuff. Like, that's what he is and that's who he is, you know? People like I really look up to and I really have close to me are all hard workers when it comes to anything. Working hard is important, but you have to work smart as well.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
You have to know how you can use that. Like, what's the whole point of putting your whole life into soccer if you're not going to aim to become a professional soccer player, right? Like, if you're going to play it just for fun, then no need to put your whole life onto it, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay, here's a little bit more of like a negative question. What are the things that make you the angriest, you know?
Holy shit, dude.
Like, what do you dislike in people the most?
What do I dislike in people? People who complains but don't try. I hate it. I hate it with a passion.
Absolutely.
So, for example, I had a friend in high school who was a bit on the overweight end of, you know, the body size, right? And he would always complain to me, like when playing basketball and stuff, because I always got into, you know, I was always the starter of the team and he was like always on bench and stuff, right? And he would always complain like, man, why can't I start? And he would always complain about it. And I'm like, man, why don't you come hit the gym with me? Why don't you practice with me after school, this, that? Like, I'm working my ass off and I got the starters and you're complaining because you're not putting in the same effort as me and you're not getting what you want.
Sounds like entitlement, like people that expect to be given opportunities even though they're not really putting in the work required to get to
for example, giving them a chance is fine. I feel like I love giving people chances, like, you know, so the reason why like he even got onto the team in the first place was because I mean, he said he was going to work hard and he was my friend. So I was like to the coach, hey, yo, like, can you give this guy a chance? Like,
oh, you vouched for him. Okay.
Yeah. And then he got in, but then he won't work from there. Like, so
That
you
makes a
know,
lot more
like-
sense. Like, you put your reputation on the line to get this guy.
Yeah,
what he
kind of.
wanted,
But I don't
and
really
then-
give a shit about the reputation. I just don't like it that I don't give a shit about my reputation. People can talk
dude,
shit all
my
the
precious baby. You're a holostar now. You have to care about your reputation. Like you have to. You have to at least care a little bit about your reputation.
That is true. That is true. Okay. Well.
So it wasn't your reputation. It was the fact that he wasn't working hard.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
if he's not working hard and he doesn't complain, I won't really care, right? Like, if it's like, oh, I'm fine on the bench, but he doesn't put as much work in, I wouldn't have to. I mean, I'll probably be like, man, you should work out a bit, at least, but...
Yeah.
You know, he's complaining it to me, being like, oh, like, you're so lucky you were talented with being good at this. Like, I was never talented at anything, dude. Like, I fucking worked my ass off to get to that point.
So we have now reached the first point where I fully understand something about Axel. I'm really happy about
really?
that. We're going to continue. What's the best piece of general life advice that you could give to our viewers?
What I can say is, don't look back on the past. Literally, don't look back. If you've done a fuck up, you've already done the fuck up. There's no way to fix it. Like, just move on. Do something better and cover it up. That's what I say.
I might have to take that advice from you because I'm very much a person that lives in the past. I think about things that I regret all the time.
I mean, you know, it's always good to talk about your past and look back at times, but like, don't make it a burden, you know? Like, don't make it what pulls you back. So if your past is pulling you back, let go of it. But it's always good to have it to remind yourself that you fucked up once and you need to learn from it.
So let's move on to something that's a little bit more fun and lighthearted. If you could have a single superpower, what would it be and why?
Flying or teleporting? I don't want to pay for transport fees, so teleporting would be one. What else can you do with superpowers? I don't know.
If you were to ask me what superpower that I would want the ability to read minds. That would be my... I'm always like paranoid about what people are thinking though, so it would give me a lot of peace of mind to know what they were thinking.
I think of you as an old man, so don't worry. Pops.
Thank you, I guess. The other
no
thing,
problem.
Yeah, the other thing might be like being able to go invisible, because sometimes I just wish I could be invisible, right? Like,
oh, maybe going invisible is nice too. I mean, I won't say my reason for it, but
I have a general idea. We both want to be invisible, but for very different reasons. We're gonna move on.
Yes, I think so.
We're gonna move on. Okay, let's move on. We don't want to get bonked. Okay. If there was one thing from your past that you could change, what would it be and why?
I'm not gonna change anything.
Really?
Literally, I'm not gonna change anything.
Nothing at all?
Okay, maybe my bets that I have lost in the past, like I would change it. But other than that, I will never change anything. Because everything that led up to this is because of all the mistakes and all of the success that I had in the past, right? That's my way of thinking about it.
That's kind of insanely insightful, and I've never thought of it. Because there's a lot of things. Like I could list.
I thought it was the most simple answer that you could give this one.
It's simple but very insightful, and I think it's the correct way to think. And I think I'm wrong in the way that I think now. It's something that I need to like. Probably I'll think about it while I'm like going to sleep or when I'm taking a shower tomorrow. But for me personally,
when you go to sleep and stuff.
Yeah, for me personally, like off the top of my head, I could think of 20 things that I would change.
What?
So it's like it's very difficult for me to think of like the one thing that I get to change, right?
Why would you need to think about, you know, things you can fix? Like you're in HOLOSTARS-EN, my man.
Yeah, but I mean that's just
what do you want to fix at this point?
It's an upswing in like a very long series of downswings. So it's like I'm still kind of hung up on stuff that I wish I did differently and stuff like that, you know?
Why are you so stuck in the past, bro? Just think about what you're gonna have for lunch tomorrow or something, dude. Have a good time, man. Yeah.
Everybody that's watching us, isn't it like very obvious how very different we are? Like we're just completely different people, and it's kind of cool that we get along so well, like despite being so different, right?
Oh, actually, there is one thing I think about a lot though.
Oh?
When a cute girl's dislike me, I think about it a lot. I'm like, yo, what did I f up, man? I was like, yeah. Why are you smacking the table for? What are you smacking the table for, man?
I just want to like put my hands on your shoulders and just like. Like you know, like grab and like shake, and it's like don't say that. Okay, let's move forward. What is more important to you, eating good food or having nice clothes, and why?
I would put food first.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Like not only does it make you feel good, but it builds you as a person, right? Because of all the shit it has inside of the food, right? Food is energy, essentially. I feel like. Wearing
true.
good clothes and stuff is not really energy. It's more to satisfy yourself and look appealing to people, right? I feel like food is more important in general. I don't know about you guys, but I like food more.
Okay, next question. Is there a genre of music that you really want to try to sing, but you haven't gotten around to it, or you know, you're reluctant to try for whatever reason? Like, is there a genre that you haven't tried yet and you want to?
I want to challenge rapping a bit more, I'd say. I really like this group called Acid Black Cherry and Jeanne d'Arc, and
Jeanne d'Arc.
Yeah, you know what?
I love them. Yeah, they're really good. Yeah,
it's good, right?
Oh,
damn, I'm so surprised you actually knew about Jeanne d'Arc though. What the?
Okay, the reason why I know it is because I'm gonna out myself as like a giga weeb. All right, so there's like a fan-made fighting game that I used to really like. It's called Melty Blood, and it's a fighting game. It's a fighting game based off of Type Moon, right? Like Shingetsutan Tsukihime, right? And my favorite like fighting music video had Jeanne d'Arc's Vampire, and I was like, this song bops. Like, what is it? And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, this is like the best song ever. And that it's been in my like perma listen list for 12, 13.
That's pretty cool.
Years. Yeah. Okay, one more question. Can you tell us something about yourself that we would never in a million years guess?
Huh? Never in a million years.
I mean, for example, something that you said just an hour ago. You mentioned Space Cobra, right?
Oh my god.
Space Cobra is so insanely old. I fart dust, and it's older than me. And I was like, how do you even know what that? So like, never in a million years would I have ever assumed that you even
Space
know.
Cobra?
I know what it is. Do you know
Mr. Psycho Gun?
yeah. So it's kind of like
Crystal Boy. Oh my god, all that shit.
I haven't watched a lot of it or played a lot. Like I just know what it is from like a cultural standpoint. So it's like how.
Okay. I know a lot of old stuff though. That's like, Megazone 23. Yes, this guy guessed it though. Megazone 23. Holy shit! I need to talk about this. Okay.
What is Megazone 23?
I don't like the show itself. It's like mid tier, I think. But what I really like is the music. The music is so good. I think it was called 背中越しにセンチメンタル and 寂しくて眠れない. The opening and the ending is so nice.
Even like somebody in their 30s or 40s wouldn't know the series that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's my dad who really loved
it. We're talking like 50s like zone. Like
yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I mean, yeah.
So we would never guess that you absolutely have the tastes of an Oji-san. Like
yeah, I think it's just because of my dad. My dad is also like, I mean, he doesn't do it anymore, but he used to be really into art, and he used to do art a lot. Maybe I could ask him to whip out an art, and maybe he'll be like, "Ooh, let me get my old stuff out," and maybe he might do it. Who knows?
That's actually pretty cool.
Is
it digital?
He always
or is it
liked art.
Media?
Like, traditional. He does it with pencil and and watercolor and stuff. He always loved art, but never had the chance to show it to anyone. So
everybody, thank you for watching us. Like just chat. Like we're pretty much just bantering for what, like an hour and 10 minutes. I had a blast.
Yeah,
Axel, thank you for agreeing to show up. Like,
oh no worries,
fun,
man. It was so fun. Yeah, it was so fun.
Okay.
Good night, guys. Bye bye.
Yep. Goodbye. Take care.